Hello. I hope everyone's having a good day. Today I'm inking something special. It is the final page of Wimp Witch. It doesn't feel like it should be, but here it is. It shouldn't take too long to ink. I do have a couple things that were suggested to talk about while I do it. Yeah, I don't know, it doesn't feel like I should be finishing this comic, but I guess that brings up question one. What's next? Well, for a while I'm going to be not taking a break per se. I'm still going to be working on some or other, and probably pretty intensely for the next while because it's going to be pretty laborious for the next couple of years of some or other. We're coming up on the end of it, and I want to make sure I get it the way I envision it. So I'm probably just going to focus on that for the next year at least. I'll still be drawing the characters from Wimp Witch, of course, maybe even sharing some concepts for what I am planning on doing after, which I would like to do a sequel comic someday. Direct sequel. I have some plotline ideas, new character ideas, a new villain. Yeah, so that's... I'll be sharing stuff from that, down the line. I don't really have anything concrete yet, just a couple characters I would like to have in it. So that's my next big thing. I don't have any minis planned for a while. I have been wanting to do some shorter comics, like 1 or 2 chapter things, or even just single chapter things, but I find it really hard to condense a story into something that short, and that's something I need to work on. But maybe that'll be something to practice. But in the meantime, I'm going to be, focusing on some or other. I finished writing chapter 30. I have a couple pages sketched, and one is inked already for the next chapter, but yeah. Arc 14 is short, which I'm fine with. A lot of these later arcs are short, but since there's going to be some animation involved, they are going to, be labor intensive. So it's a trade-off. I feel accomplished with this, I really like how Wimp Witch turned out. Some parts I feel could have been, done a little better, but like I say, if I spent all the time fixing everything I wasn't crazy about, I'd never finish anything, so that's just how that turned out, I guess. Work on it for the next comic. Make it even better. Slowly but surely, we'll get there. Probably shouldn't have started my inking with this. Probably should have warmed up a bit, but I'm excited to get this done. It'll look fine, I'm sure. It's one of those days where the inking isn't the greatest. Sorry, I'm quiet. I'm focusing on these very round lines. It's easy to mess up a curve. There. It's not bad. I'll take it. It's once again Wednesday. I'll be uploading this on Saturday as usual. There wasn't any video last week because it was Canada Day weekend and we had quite a bit to take care of. Hanging out with our friends, and it was a friend's birthday. Went and played some board games with another friend. It was a lot of fun. And, general upkeep of the house, and I spent one of my days with my boyfriend. We just kind of went around town, had some fun. I saw ducklings, my favorite of all the animals, so I was very excited about that. my buddy Amanda sent a whole bunch of questions or suggestions of things I could talk about, and I really like them. Oh, sorry, hiccup. One of the suggestions was what animals would the characters of Wimp Witch be? And I've drawn a couple of them as animals before, and I just from prompts, and I actually kind of, made it stuck with me. Like Yulene is a goldfish. I think fits her really well. I drew Bacillus as a slug once, and I really like how that turned out. Turned out cute. I've also drawn Yulene as a velvet ant for Halloween drawing, which turned out cute. Cornelia, I would imagine, would be some kind of bug. Something very, very chompy bug. I don't know what their actual name is. There's a bug we call chip lifters, or at least that's what my family called them. They're longhorn spruce beetles, that's what they're called. They're kind of white and blue, and they have quite the bite on them, and they like to scream. So yeah, Cornelia is a longhorn spruce beetle. Christina, I think, would be a cat, despite the fact that she likes water. She's also very clean and proper and cat-like. A grouchy cat at that. Ah, some sunshine. Like that. Darcy? It'll make him a horse. Why not? Just the first thing that came to mind. He can be a horse. Link can be... he's hard. Who would he be? I don't know. I have to think about that one. I was thinking, like, metaphorically the wolf in sheep's clothing, but that's too good for him. So he's not a wolf or a fox. That's also too good for him. I don't want to insult any animals by comparing them to Wink. Oh well. Another thing Amanda asked was, how old are the characters? And I kind of don't really have set ages for them, just kind of ish ages. Like, well, Monica's a baby. Obviously, she's the baby. She's only days old and she's already walking and talking. I never really pinned down an age for Bacillus. I just kind of picture him as ageless. Cornelia's the youngest of the group. She'd probably be around 21, 22-ish. Where Christina would be the eldest. Mid to late 30s, maybe. Or close to mid-30s. Darcy and Yulene are kind of mid-ish 20s. The 25, 26 range, I'm gonna assume. Or Wink would probably be in this mid to late 20s, or closer to the 30s, I guess. But yeah, there's no set ages for them. Just kind of that range. I always just kind of made Cornelia the youngest in my head, but yeah, but not by very much. Mostly because she's the smallest of them too. Which is why I made her the scrapper. I like tiny, angry characters. Who doesn't? Someone asked about the weather. It's lovely right now. It's about 22 degrees. So I'm enjoying the surge in temperature. It's supposed to be 29 degrees on Friday, and I don't know how I'm going to survive. That's way too hot. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit for folks who use Fahrenheit. I'm sorry. It's hot. I'll say that. It's like sweltering is 29. Especially with humidity, which thankfully we're not at that stage in the year yet. I have a doctor's appointment Friday, so I'm going to be out most of the night. So hopefully it's not too bad where I'm going. I'll find a nice cool bar to go sit down in maybe afterwards. It's pay week. I'm going to be out late anyway, and I'm going to go meet up with my friends and boyfriend afterwards, so I might as well just stop for a nice meal before I do that. Supposed to rain all weekend though, which sucks. On Saturday, it's the long put off and long awaited girls outing. Me and Amanda have been planning for like months, but we've not been able to pick a day to do it. So we're finally gonna go to this restaurant we've been meaning to try for like years called the Captain's Boil. And then go do some shopping, get some shorts I've been meaning to pick up. It's too hot. And I have like 2 pairs of shorts that don't have holes in them out of the 4-ish pairs of shorts that I own. Let me think of what else I could talk about. I was also asked what my favorite food is. The short answer is beans. I love beans. I don't know if I've answered this question before already, but I'll always talk about how much I love beans. Chili especially. I would say my favorite meal would be chili, but only because one of the main ingredients is beans. They're too good. Why does Yulian have red hair? Was another question. Yulian I had a really hard time picking colors for. I think it took me probably about a month of just fiddling with colors before I settled on the set that I picked. Blue, I kind of knew I wanted her to have a lot of blue on her somewhere, so I just went with her clothes. Yeah, it was just a lot of playing around with it, and orange looks good with blue, so that's why. Looking at old color practice for Yulian, there's a blonde one, and it just does not look right. It's weird how a character will fit into a color scheme so well that just when you change their shirt to a different color, it doesn't look right at all. Yeah, this isn't gonna take too long at all. I do have another page I'm gonna ink later. I have to go finish cleaning the apartment first. I noticed how dusty the blinds were yesterday and realized I hasn't cleaned them in months, so that'll bug me until it's done. I already tackled the downstairs ones. Just gotta get upstairs now. Despite the fact that I love trash and garbage, I do like to keep my house clean. And man, you get less bugs that way. We've been having a rough time with ants lately. No fun. Thankfully no earwigs yet. They get pretty nasty as the summer goes on. One time I was going to make a cup of tea, and okay, I'll have to do some more explaining with this in a bit, but my teapot I was using was iron, and I couldn't see into it, so when I went to rinse it out, out plopped a nice big old fat earwig into my sink, wriggling around. Was not happy. How did he get in, and how did he get into my teapot? But yeah, I have 4 teapots, and I arranged them by season. Summertime is the green iron teapot. I don't know why I've done it this way, but it's just, I have 1 teapot per season. Spring is the glass teapot. It just makes sense to me. Fall is the ceramic teapot. Most because that one has like dead trees on it. So that makes sense to me. And the winter one is chrome. No reason for it, it's just chrome. Also, my summer teapot has dragonflies on it, which I love very much. I'm having fun walking to work lately because there's a ton of snails on the trail on our way home, way to work and back. If I know I'm not going to make it to the ferry anyway, I'll just pick some up on my way while waiting for the next one. We take a ferry to and from work. The way our city is set up is, think of it as like a U shape, and then here's the ocean, and on one side of the U is one city, and there's another on the other side, and there's a ferry that goes in between every 15 minutes. It's not a long ride, it's just saves you a lot of, traveling just to cut across. We live on one side and work on the other. So it's nice to ride the boat in the morning, it's very peaceful. Sometimes you see seals, which is always very cute. I saw one last week. Making good headway on this. Still hungry. I didn't have a big supper. Just kind of grabbed something on the way home, so I'll make a snack after this. A little hooray reward. Maybe open a beer. Yeah, I'll wait till like every night around 9:30 is when I try and make myself stop working on things, and I'll go downstairs and either watch videos or play games, just to do something other than art. Origami and Sudoku are things I enjoy doing, just to keep my hands busy without actually having to worry about being productive. I also like watching my boyfriend play games. He got Mario Maker last weekend. That was a lot of fun. It's crazy some of the levels people are coming up with. I'm only capable of shitposting, which is still fun. The freedom to shitpost as I see fit is very welcome. We've also been watching a lot of Monster Factory lately in the evenings. I hear a lot about those McElroy brothers, are they called? And I keep getting them recommended to me, but so far the only series I've found that I can immediately jump into this Monster Factory because I love breaking rigs. It's so much fun. And we just end up cackling, having a grand old time. They remind me of like a modern day, or like our equivalent of the Homestar humor. I was huge into Homestar Runner when I was younger. I still am, let's be honest, but their style of just talking reminds me a lot of Homestar Runner humor, and I think that's why I like it so much. Speaking of Homestar Runner, it just reminded me. I did an animation of Strong Bad just walking around with big noodly arms, and I was really happy with it. And then some other person posts it and gets retweeted by the Strong Bad Twitter account. And I'm just a little bit upset about that. Obviously, the guy who reposted it, not anyone else, because, like, they're the one that did something wrong. But yeah. Way to go, guy. Your repost of my thing got way more hits than my original did. I hope you're happy. Even got my signature on the bottom back when I used to actually add my signature to things. Which I guess I do more for fan art than my own original pieces, because, like, you can, like, I don't know. You know it's mine if you know who I am, or you'll know it's an original piece and not a fan art. Harder to tell with fan art. Oh well. Yeah, we're getting to the end of it. Big swooping lines. That was stressful. Sometimes I'll whistle if I'm doing big lines. There we go. That turned out alright. Still got another one to do. Not so bad. Alright, let's tackle it. I can probably do this one in 2 pieces. Need more ink. Heard any good creepypastas lately? I love listening to those. I've been listening to I'm a SWAT Officer, which is kind of jumps all over the place for my liking, but the descriptions are fun. I'm enjoying all the monster types. That one's just really, really interesting, and once I got used to the formatting of it, and just like how so many stories are happening all at once, it is, I started enjoying it more. Oh, I guess I could talk a little bit about what I'm planning for the sequel to Wimp Witch. I do have a couple more witch designs I'm working for. I would like to add more witches. I want to focus more on like the witches and their magic in this, because like, while Wimp Witch was focusing on Yulene finding her magic, I didn't really talk much about the others and what they can do, which I would like to address. But there's a Witch of Filth I'm working on a design for, an Earth Witch, and a Witch of Wrath is the last one. I was thinking maybe even like a throwaway Clown Witch, because I like clowns a lot. But we'll see. You've already seen the villain. I've posted him a few times. Bacillus has a big brother who's quite a bit more dangerous. Like, actually dangerous and not just a pest. So he was going to be the villain for the next one, if it comes along. I was thinking of maybe having Cornelia take over her kingdom. Overthrow her dad like she said she might. We'll see. There's a few ideas kicking around in my head. Still trying to come up with, like, I have a villain and I have a conflict, but, like, I need to come up with a resolution. I like to have that in mind before I start a comic. It's like, how's it going to end? Or at least a vague idea of, like, what they have to do to win, if anything. You know, it might change, but it does give me a good starting point to... Because if I know what the characters are trying to do, I can start working towards that goal. Alright, almost done. This one I'm going to do, you know, I'm going to try and color really, really nice. People have been asking about a print version. I don't know if I've talked about this already or not, but because there's an animated segment, I would have to either comicify that, or I was thinking of maybe just making a stand-in chapter for it, for a print version, which should be fun, something new and exciting, which is pretty much the same thing as what happened in the animation, but less cinematic. So that might go on my to-do list if I ever do decide to make a print version of this, which I would like to, you know, don't get me wrong. But that's a future problem. A project for later. Maybe even set up a couple little extra chapters, or, you know, go back and, like, maybe add a couple pages here and there for places I think need the extra little bits of info, or we'll see. A print version is a good opportunity to spice up, you know, parts I thought were lacking. I wouldn't change anything. It would mostly just be me adding a page here and there, if anything. Fixing some errors if I find, you know, some egregious ones. Maybe add more color to the earlier pages. Alrighty. The final part, the end. Here it goes. Sorry, I'm being quiet. This is always fun to do the final page and then you're done. I've done a few comics in the past and they're all under my bed somewhere. And it's just something special, you know? Something special to finish. Something you spend a few years on. Webcomics are a long haul. Sometimes you don't really feel like you're ever going to finish it, and like, why do you even bother? But you stick it through. And not with all of them, of course. I've got plenty of comics I've never finished, and if you're not feeling it, then don't force yourself. But this is one I thought was worth finishing. Just like that. Well, thank you for watching, and this will be going up probably Sunday. I'll probably just do the final 2 pages in one go. If I have the time to color them both. You'll get this page soon finished. And that's it. Thanks, everybody.